Hey there, folks. Welcome back to the Home Safety Channel, where we're all about keeping our homes safe and sound. Today, we're diving into a topic that hits close to home, quite literally. We're talking about painting walls with toddlers around. So picture this. You've been dreaming of giving your walls a fresh coat of paint, maybe adding a pop of color or a fun design. But wait, you've got a little one toddling around. Is it safe? Let's find out. When you move into a new house, painting the walls is a breeze, because no one is living in the house yet. The challenge arises when you're already living at home and are wanting to get the walls of the house painted again. Add a curious toddler into the mix, and things get a tad trickier. You see, traditional wall paint can pack a punch when it comes to odors and chemicals. While us grown-ups might shrug it off, those fumes can be pretty potent for our tiny tots. Plus, there's always the risk of, well, toddlers being toddlers, fingers in paint, then straight to the mouth. Now let's get a breakdown of why it is unsafe to paint with toddlers in the house. Traditional paint contains a lot of toxic chemicals, which when applied emit volatile organic compounds, VOCs, in the form of harmful fumes. Some of the constituents of these fumes include formaldehyde, glycol, toluene, ethyl acetate, among others. These are highly toxic compounds. And here's the kicker. Babies breathe faster than us adults, so they're like tiny VOC vacuums, inhaling more of those nasties. The effects can be respiratory problems, as well as developmental and cognitive issues continuing into the growing years. And this risk lurks not only when the painting is going on, but also after the walls have been painted for some days. Paints containing the volatile organic compounds, VOCs, continue to emit toxic fumes days after the walls dry. I'm not talking about the average adult who has exposure to paint only once in 2 to 3 years when their house is being painted. It's more about professional painters who are at constant exposure to the VOC paints that are at a high risk of developing respiratory problems in the long term. There are also instances of damage to the liver, kidneys, and the nervous system. Some of the short-term effects of constant exposure are headache, dizziness, nausea, eye irritation, and breathlessness. Now, before you start painting, the old paint needs to be stripped off. This can pose a problem as well. According to the United States Environmental Protection Agency's Office of Research and Development's Total Exposure Assessment Methodology study, it was found that levels of organic pollutants indoors are at an average 2 to 5 times higher than outdoors. And while stripping the old paint off before applying fresh paint, the levels of the organic pollutants is expected to rise as much as 1,000 times than the outdoor levels at that time. Considering the harmful effects and the toxicity of traditional enamel and oil paints, manufacturers have now come up with a new improved type of paint. These paints are either contain very low VOCs or no VOCs at all. They are also odorless and non-toxic, but they do cost a lot more than your traditional wall paint. If buying a no VOC paint is out of your budget, there are a few steps you can take to ensure that the risks are considerably reduced. It can take 3-4 days for the painting work to finish, but it would be better if you stay out at least a week. Of course, you can keep visiting and supervising the work during the day. If staying away from home is not an option, this is what you can do. So while you're painting one room, your toddler can stay in the other room. Till the paint dries completely, make sure that your toddler has no access to the room being painted. Keep the paint boxes and buckets out of the reach of your toddler. Keep the house well ventilated, thus reducing the effect of the odor of the paint. And well, if all else fails, consider crashing at Grandma's for a few days. It's like a mini vacay minus the sandcastles. Personally, if you ask me, I'd suggest a 2-pronged approach to paint with a toddler at home. First, use a no VOC paint that is non-toxic and odorless. Secondly, as far as possible, make arrangements to stay at another place while the painting work is going on. And there you have it, folks. With a little planning and a whole lot of caution, you can paint your walls without painting yourself into a corner. So, got any burning questions? Drop them in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more tips on keeping your home safe and sound. Thanks for watching.